want to show you the process of what it takes to find a spouse, and I want to teach it to you in a way where you see it from a logical perspective, where the non-emotional, just logical perspective, so that you can make decisions much more clearly and see it from an approach of like, you feel more empowered. And so that's the intention of the video. I want to help Muslims feel more empowered on their search for finding a spouse because it is 100% like it's when you feel it's exhausted and tiring and all that, it's because you're not in the right perspective and you're not in the right mindset. And you didn't have the tools you needed to actually see this process. But what I'm going to teach you here is I want you to feel a lot more empowered in the way you see things and the way you talk to potentials. And inshallah, that will help in so many ways. And so, first off, I just want to start off with the truth, which is there are a bunch there, let's say all the people in the world, every person you meet, they're either going to be your person or someone else's spouse. And so our job as we're looking and we're on our journey, we want to make sure the person you're talking to is not someone else's spouse. Because we know your person is out there and we don't want to waste time on someone that's not your person. And so I like I'll show you this here. Like if this is you, here, this is you, and let's say this is your person, every person you talk to, and this all these dots represent the people in the world, but every person you talk to, you're going to realize, oh, they're not my person, and you just move on. And all we're looking for is one person to be your spouse. And so every time you talk to someone, you're like, okay, is this what I want? Yes or no? Nope. Okay. As soon as emotions come in and your worthiness and identity comes in of like, let's say you talk to the first person and it doesn't work out. And let's say you talk to the next one and the next one, and then you build up this feeling and belief of like it's never gonna work for me, or like why is it not working for me? You're missing the point. You're out of this mindset. It has to be every time you talk to someone, okay, why didn't it work? Oh, okay, because they weren't my person. And what did I learn from this? Okay, next. What did I learn from this? And you keep going, and your job is to continue to believe in the vision of like, this is what I want. This is the kind of spouse that I want, which is the values that I share, which is, a good heart, empathetic, communicative, whatever you have on your wants, right? So I just wanted to show you this to let you know that every person you talk to is either going to be yours or not yours. It's very black and white. As soon as we get into this, like, oh, like they kind of look like mine, but they're not. And the thing is, a lot of people try to make the person that's not theirs, they try their best to make them look like this is my person. And now you're gonna ask me, like, okay, well, how do I know if this is gonna be my person or someone else's? And and this is where the work of being your best authentic self is the best screening tool you have. And the best way to see if you're living your best authentic self is, are you living the values that you have right now? And the way I would like for you to work on is to list out, this is the work, right? Is to list out all your values, the top 5 values that you have, and the priorities that you have, right? So as an example, I'll give you an example, right? So if my values are faith, growth, and serving and compassion and fun, those are my values. How do I actually live that on my day-to-day life on my basis, right? Because why I'm saying this is when you are living this version of your life and you're happy with your life and you feel congruent, you feel aligned with the way you're being, every time you talk to someone, you're gonna see clearly, does this person fit into my life, into the life that I would like? And you're coming from a full cup where you feel like you are fully like you're good, like you feel happy, you love your life, and you're ready to just add someone who you think would be a good idea to be a partner with. Now, what happens is when you don't know your values and your priorities and you're not living it, you're going to come from an empty cup, and you're going to try to fill that empty cup with people who are not your people. And you're gonna like try to make someone your person just for the sake of partnership or whatever, just for the sake of having someone. And it's it gets really messy. It gets really messy. And what people need to understand is when you are grounded and aligned with who you're being, it becomes so much easier to screen if someone is for you or not, because you're coming at it from a very business perspective, very like, do I want this in my life or not? Right? So for as an example, right? Let's say you have a bunch of you have some wants and you're talking to the next person and the person has some wants. Your only job is to see, okay, let me see if this is going to work. Let me see if this could work. Do we have our wants aligned? Okay, this is my want. This is their wants. Do they match? Do they have similarities? Is this something that I can see in my life that I can fit into? Like they can fit into my life, right? So and that I'm talking about lifestyle, like I'm talking about the way they live, the way they think, the way all of this. I'm not saying they have to be the same, but I'm saying if you are someone who is looking for a partner that you can have empathetic understanding and compassion with, do they have that? And if they're looking for something that like you don't want, all you have to do is be like, okay, clearly we don't have the same wants. All good, move on to the next thing. And you have to approach it from a very like clear perspective. What happens also, another thing I need to add, when you're coming from an empty cup, infatuation is very it's very easy to attach to people when your life is not that exciting. And so when you're either bored or you kind of like you're feeling like I'm so behind, like I need to find someone and like I need this to feel better, you're going to fill it with someone that you're gonna try to make that person someone that you want to be with when you really don't. Like you know clearly you don't align, so your brain's gonna infatuate and attach to that image of who you think they are, and it's not that, right? So going back to how to think about it, right? When you know for the next, let's say, next couple of years, you're going to meet a couple people, a lot of people, and you're going to keep practicing. And you're going to keep practicing with the intention of, okay, I want to see if this is going to be my spouse or not. Let me see. Okay, they have this, this, and this. Is this something I want in my life? What we're not focused on, because this is when you're operating from your ego, is how can I make sure they like me? Why don't they like me enough? Why did they reject me? None of that. There's none of that. As soon as that enters the chat, you are done. You're screwed because you're up in your emotions. You're trying to figure out why don't people like you? Why am I always single? All of that gets in the way, and so then you become attached to things that you don't need to be attached to. And all of this is a lot more possible when you're focused on the vision. The vision is, I want this kind of marriage, and I know I'm the person that can make it happen. All I need is a person with a good heart and a good empathetic soul, and I'm attracted to them physically, and I can make it work. So let me see what's out there. And it doesn't matter how old you are, none of that matters. Because why is that? Because I've worked with people personally where they got married in their 40s, 50s even. There's 50s. I saw 50s and right and more. But my point here is it doesn't matter. You have to try to get the best clear image of who you're trying to get to. Like, and what I would recommend for people, for anyone watching this, is write out what is it that you're looking for in a way that you fill up like 4 pages, no space, no double space, of like draw out exactly what you're looking for. And then underline specifically what must be there. And when you underline what must be there, your brain starts looking for that. And you're on a mission. You're on a business mission to see who would like to be my husband. Who do I want to be my wife or my husband? And as soon as you have this more business perspective, it's so much easier to go about this process. Exhaustion only happens when things are taken personally. And that's what people don't get. People are expecting and already projecting ahead of time, like, I don't know if this is going to work, or like, or all the men. I don't know if there's one man out there for me or one woman out there for me that I would like that's specific for me. And as soon as you're thinking that and that's what you're expecting, that's all you're going to get. And so we have to clean out all of that mindset work. And also I have a lot of videos on my YouTube you can watch on like self-concept and other things. But and also, yeah, there's just a lot of data on my Instagram and all of that that can help you clear out your mind when it comes to what you want in your life and how to think about it in a very business perspective. So remember, two things, right? Every person you talk to is either your person or not your person, period. As soon as you feel yourself trying to be like, should I make them like they have like a lot of things, but I don't want to deal. And the question I want you to ask yourself is, do I want to be with this or would I rather be single? And answering it from a place of I love being single. Being single is not a problem. Because that's how you get to make your decisions where you have a full cup and you're asking yourself, do I want this in my life or not? And if not, then you move on to the next one and you're not wasting any time. And so this becomes, I'll show you here. Okay. This is when you're born. This is like the afterlife when you die, whenever that is. But on your way, as you're getting to know, you're going to meet people. You're going to meet people. And every single step you're taking, you are seeing it as what did I learn to improve me as a person? What is one thing that I can alter so that I don't attract this kind of person? What is one thing I can do to work on my boundaries, to work on my communication, to work on every single step you make is making you get closer to the person that you want. And this is required for you to figure out like, okay, now I get where my limiting beliefs are. Now I get where I'm kind of feeling insecure. And then you get to this person. And I've helped people, this is what I help people with, right? Like helping them see like what is stopping you from, moving on to the next person, or even like what's blocking you from getting from here to here. And it's usually a lot of limiting beliefs. And so that's kind of what it is, right? It is actually very simple. And I know people argue with me like, Lemma, it's not that simple. It's like, what if Allah doesn't have it written for you? That's like saying, right? Like, let's say you have a dream of opening a nice restaurant, okay? And you want to open a nice restaurant. You want to make it like this nice halal restaurant that everyone comes to. And you open, and how do you know if it's written for you? Well, you work on it until you get there. And if it's going to fail like 100,000 times until you make it that successful thing that you want. Marriage is a skill. Getting to a point where you finally like realize I am so comfortable with myself and I'm comfortable with who I let into my life and I have the capacity to receive and let love in and I can know how to handle it and all this. That is a skill that people can learn. And do not fall into this trap of like, what if it's not meant for me? You will never know that until you die. So if you can either spend this time learning how to grow and evolve and become that best version of yourself to attract the person that you want, or you can just spend the rest of your life thinking, I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know if it's meant for me. But I really don't want that for anyone. I think the Muslim Ummah needs a lot of help when it comes to how to think about this stuff. And you'll be surprised how fast it can come. Because here's the thing, when you work on your beliefs, your du'as become so much stronger. And when your du'as become so much more like you're so convicted in Allah's powers and of what He can make possible, that's when the magic happens. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And there's so much more to talk about, but I'm just gonna release a couple videos at a time. And so if you want to learn more, you can always follow me on Instagram. And I also offer one-on-one coaching. And also I have a group coach program coming up, where I help a lot of people with their mindset and how to get to the spouse that you're looking for. So you can sign up in my website. I'll put it in the description. And I'll see you in the next video.